Oh, hi, Eric.
Oh, hi, Matthew. Isn't it weird that we're just both here at the same time?
It's so bizarre. It's like absolutely totally strange. Um, so just in case anybody's joining us for the first time, that's funny.
Why are
Uh,
you here? What are you doing? Why did you start
exactly.
on episode 51? That's a weird choice. I
It is a
appreciate
weird,
it.
yeah. But yeah, this is the Odd Atheist Friends, and I'm Matthew, and that's Eric over there. We're
Hi.
the cold South in fucking Kakalaki. You're not in the Kakalakis anymore. You're in the Dakotas
The
where it's
Dakotas.
the Dakotas where it's fucking snowing right now or something like that. You said
North Dakota. Yeah. Shit. It's so, like, we've had 4 blizzards so far. 4
you're
blizzards.
from North Carolina, and inches of blizzard.
I know. I'm telling you, the world shuts down for an inch of snow. And here, things actually, to be fair, some stuff has shut down for a couple days during the blizzards when it was like -50 out and there's 3 feet of snow, but for the most part they just get back going the next day. So
You know, it was funny because I got a text message from my house insurance company. My insurance company said, "You're in the path of winter storm Jacob or whatever the fuck it was, Jason or something. I don't remember. It's like if you need it. It's great that they sent me a thing, a text message, but it's like, yeah, you're in the path of this gigantic winter storm. So I thought it was. It's like I didn't know that they named winter storms like they do hurricanes.
yeah, that's really weird.
I just thought that was a little bizarre. So I mean, I think it's cool that my insurance company sent me a text message. Eric, why are you Are you staring off into your cold, bleak hell?
Yeah, I'm really fucking sad. I was gonna go to the store today and buy groceries and get some food, you know?
Are you gonna have to like break off an arm and eat it or something?
No, I have food. It's just not food I want, you know? Thankfully I stock up on like canned food and stuff, but I'm sad. I'm really sad.
You're sad.
I went out yesterday to go. Well, I didn't drive, but I went to the gym. I should have just like had them drop me off at Walmart on the way by or something. But
Yay, Wally World.
I know I hate Walmart, but I'm poor, so
Yeah, and so is everybody else that works there.
everybody in the United States, for the most, like 90% of people,
Pretty much.
then like
Yeah,
10% shop at Whole Foods.
seriously. There's like a serious difference in the world between the haves, as in the United States, between the haves and the haves nots.
Yeah,
And it's like, it's honestly pretty remarkable. And it really doesn't take a whole hell of a lot to get it to go from the have not to have. It takes a lot of work, but to go from the have to the have not can be pretty goddamn fast.
yeah, it's pretty unfortunate.
It's because we have no social services and the current government wants to
Cut
make
what
us
we
all
do
poor.
have,
Yeah.
which is like nothing. The most you can get in food stamps. Well, they don't call it food stamps anymore, but yeah,
No, it's effectively the same thing.
yeah. The most you can get in that as a single person that is homeless and not working is $198, I think,
For food.
for food for 1 month if you have no income at all.
$198. You
Yeah,
you literally can't get anything for $198. I mean, you can't feed one person on that much for a month.
yeah,
You can't do it.
yeah. You have to be very frugal and eat a lot of cheap shit. You can't eat healthy, that's for
Well,
sure.
that's the thing is like, yeah, there's starvation food. I
Yeah,
mean, you can live on fucking ramen. It's not good for you, but you can fucking do it. Macaroni and cheese and fucking, like spam sandwiches. I mean, yeah, you can fucking do it, but it sucks. You can get
yeah,
white bread for 80 cents a loaf if you're fucking lucky, but it's bad for you.
yeah. That's the thing. Like, if you want to eat good proteins and good vegetables and good shit, it's really hard to budget that if you're not making a lot of money.
Yeah. And
Even I
that's not,
struggle with that.
and not even including stuff like condiments. I mean,
Yeah.
to have stuff like ketchup and mustard and that, I mean, yeah, you can get it pretty cheap, but you've got to take a little bit of that money that you get, and that stuff adds up. I mean, yeah, you can get a thing of mustard, for like $2, but that's $2 you could have spent and gotten another 3 packs of ramen. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, it really also depends on where you're at too, because I've
Good
noticed that
point.
grocery prices really vary per
Yes.
state and per city, and it's crazy. Like some places, like I would say in North Carolina, that I could get. I mean, it makes sense, but like I could get like a tomato, I don't know, for like 40 cents, right? A
Yeah.
regular sized tomato. And here, it's like $1 for a tomato
Yeah.
because like I'm in the middle of the fucking cold north and we don't have tomatoes right now, so it costs a lot more to get them. But like that's the same for all the fresh vegetables. It costs a lot more here. And I know in like certain places, like certain cities that are like food deserts, like you don't even get fresh vegetables.
Well, I was about to say, I was about ready to bring up food deserts. You could go up to various parts in the areas of Chicago, like on the southwest and west sides, south and west sides, where, some of the neighborhoods where it's like the only place you can get any kind of food is like the dollar store. And
Yeah.
you're not getting fresh fruits and vegetables from the dollar store. And then I'm just saying, I mean, these places, I mean, yeah, there's restaurants and that kind of stuff, but I mean, it's restaurant food. I mean, even that's not necessarily very good. I mean, it could be, hot dogs and hamburgers and that kind of stuff, or
Yeah.
tacos or something like that. I mean, it's all fried food and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's tough. And when you're using the the government
Yeah.
food subs, I can't think. What is it fucking called? The new term. I can't think of it.
What's that? I'm sorry.
Not food stamps, but the new term for it. I don't know.
Uh, I want to say SNAP.
Yeah, SNAP. Thank you. Why couldn't I
Uh,
think of that?
I don't know, and I can't think of the name for it. Like
Yeah.
what the abbreviation letters stand for.
Yeah. Well, it's SNAP. And anyway, yeah. So SNAP money, like you can't use that for hot food at
No,
all. So it's tough. Like,
and not only that, what was it? I heard, what was it, that they wanted to have the that stuff, like they wanted to. There's a couple of like the grocery things where it's like where it's like a subscription service where you get like food every week mailed to you in a box.
yeah, that's what Trump was trying to do with like
Exactly.
the shittiest food.
Exactly. And he's like, so he was wanting to get rid of like all the money and just send people these delivery boxes. And it doesn't make any fucking sense because it would have cost more money for that than it is. And they keep cutting the amount of money down too. I mean, so, they got that.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard.
Sachi brought up just a minute ago. She's sitting over here on the couch. So, hi, Sachi. Uh, so she said that Japanese people eat like ramen like all the time too. But I want to caveat that a little bit. Yes, they eat ramen all the time too, but they eat it differently than in the United States. It's way different.
Mm-hmm.
In Japan, they add stuff like vegetables to it. Sometimes they add beef to it. They add depend on what you like. They could either add on a cooked or an uncooked egg, either soft boiled or hard boiled, and you chop it up. Depends on what you want. I mean, so yeah, they eat ramen a lot, but in Japan, it's eaten a lot differently, and they eat a lot less meat there in Japan than we do here. And they just eat it differently. So they have a lot more vegetables. So yeah, they eat a lot more ramen, but it's cooked differently and it's just prepared differently. Sachi's
Yeah.
over here shaking her head, saying, "No, okay, we're gonna disagree, Dave."
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to add some protein in there and some nutrients.
So, but yeah, they add like carrots and lettuce and or cabbage and sometimes some thinly sliced beef and an egg, and I mean it's better than just the empty calories and salt.
Yeah, that's
That
all. That's all our ramen is. It's rough.
it's rough. You can
I
survive on it, but it's shit.
I cannot eat ramen. I bought some the other well, like a few weeks ago. I bought like 2 packs. I ate 1 pack. I almost like vomited it because I'm just like over ramen, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm not probably not gonna eat this other pack.
Good thing this stuff lasts forever. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
Twinkies. It'll probably be good for like 50 years.
Yeah, well, it's so bad. It's so hard for me. I think I just ate too much of it when I was younger and like I just can't. Weirdly enough, well, not maybe it's not weird. Like you know how like things you eat when you're a kid a lot of the time are like your comfort food as an adult.
Yeah.
So like kids, I've noticed kids that grow up like in homeless or like in various housing issue situations, they eat a lot of ramen and that tends to be like their comfort food. And they don't want other food. They just want to keep eating ramen. It's a fascinating thing. Cuz I mean, I ate a lot of ramen, but I also ate a lot of potatoes and
Yeah.
beans and stuff, like those kind of cheap foods cuz we had a house to cook in and we could cook potatoes and beans. So that's like my comfort food.
For me, it was macaroni and cheese,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
um, and actually macaroni and cheese with some beef added into it, like some ground beef.
Oh
I used
yeah.
to get that quite a bit, and sometimes we'd put that on a sandwich and have that as a sandwich too. You know,
Oh, nice.
well, when you're 9 or 10 years old, you just
No,
you just eat whatever they put in front of you, because that was
yeah,
the thing. It's like, eat what's on your plate, and you better clean your fucking plate.
yeah. No,
I
I used
mean,
to eat fried hot dog sliced up with macaroni and cheese, and that was my fucking favorite thing.
yeah. So did they ever do the thing? I don't know. They only did it once or twice, but like where they cut the end of the hot dog up, and it's like, ooh, this is like an octopus. Eat your octopus.
No, I've never
They
seen
never
that.
did that. Where they take a
No.
hot dog and they cut the end of it up, and they, like, so it's like it's got like arms at the
Yeah,
end.
no,
They cut it lengthwise.
I can picture it, but
They
I've
cut
never
it.
seen it.
Yeah, they cut it lengthwise, and they're like, oh, dip the octopus in your mustard and have your octopus sandwich. Eat your octopus. Nah, 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 nah.
Wow, I like it. I've never seen it, but I like it.
So yeah, the eat your octopus. So they only did that once or twice. But yeah, I pretty distinctly remember that.
Wow.
So, and yeah, so I remember getting told. I mean, it's kind of a thing, and I remember it, and because we've talked about how our families were fairly violent, like when we were younger. But I remember being told by my uncle, who's now dead, and I'm not sad about it, that he told me when I was like 9 years old to not put ketchup on a hot dog anymore. When I asked for ketchup on a hot dog, and he threatened to
Ooh.
backhand me when I was like, "I want ketchup," and he's like, "No, mustard."
Shit.
And so, but I don't know if I still have mustard on a hot dog because I like it or because it was social conditioning.
Wow. I think ketchup on a hot dog is gross, but I support people eating it if they like it.
Well, kind of a thing here in Chicago where you don't put ketchup on any kind of cased meat if you're like over the age of 10. And that's pretty universal from people who grew up here. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean,
Hmm.
transplants are a little bit different, but I'm talking about people who grew up here,
Yeah.
where it's like you just don't put ketchup on a hot dog or a sausage or anything. You just don't do it. And I wonder if that's social conditioning or if that's just a thing here. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah. I was never told not to. I was made fun of for not putting ketchup on it because everybody where I was from put ketchup on it. And I was like, that's disgusting. I don't like it.
So what did you put on your hot dogs? Mustard?
Mustard, mayonnaise. I like mayonnaise, mustard, chili.
Mayo can be okay. Chili is okay. Anything but ketchup. Just Don't put ketchup on a case meat. You know,
Yeah, well, I don't like it, so I'm
I
okay.
mean, mustard for your bun, I can kind of see that. It's, you know, whatever. But ketchup, I don't know. Like I said, at this point, I don't know if that's conditioning or if I actually like it. I mean, I know I like it, but I wonder how I got to like it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like I feel like you can make yourself like a lot of different kinds of foods unless you're just like absolutely repulsed by them.
Yeah.
Because like I did not like almond milk or soy milk at all when I started switching over from cow's milk. I was like, this shit's not great, you know?
It's kind of gross if you think about it. I mean,
But I
because
kept sorry.
no, I'm just
But
saying. I mean,
yeah.
I'm yeah. You get used to anything. I mean, you know, I got used to sleeping on, you know, in a rack that was only had like 2 feet of room in it. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
you get used to it. You can get used to
Yeah.
pretty much anything. You can get used to psychological, mental, and physical abuse.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Glad we went there. But I drank a lot of almond milk and now I kind of like it. And I think cow's milk's disgusting. It's really kind of just whatever you're used to. So if you're used to shit food, you kind of like shit food.
What was it? I heard the guys on Cog Disc talking about this not that long ago. One of the guys, Cecil, is notorious for growing up pretty poor like we did. And he was saying that, you know, like they used to do like the the boxed milk, the powdered milk, and add a little bit of milk to it and stir it with water. And it's
Mm,
like I remember doing that, you know, and for me, the only way I could stomach that shit is if it was ice cold.
yeah, we didn't
I
do a
had
lot
to
of milk.
I had to make sure that I shook the container like really good. I mean, I still
Hmm.
catch myself like I'll take the milk jug out and I'll shake the milk jug. And maybe because it's force of habit from years of a child of shaking the milk before I drank a glass of it.
Yeah,
You know, is that psychological conditioning? I don't know.
I don't know, probably.
Force of habit at this point. I haven't had boxed milk literally in probably 30 years now. I mean,
Yeah.
so another point I want to say I'm old. What was it? I saw something today that somebody mentioned. It's like the offspring, Michael Jackson, and that kind of stuff to people like your age is Elvis to people like me. As far as like the time difference,
Oh yeah.
I'm old.
Well, I mean, you're not that old.
No, but now it's get off my lawn. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm starting to like, you know, realize that, you know, time is going by a lot faster than I thought. It's like I've always said that days and weeks drag, months and years fly by. You know, I mean,
Hmm.
shit, I've been retired almost 10 years by now from the Navy. 10 years. So, yeah, it's, you know, I once thought I'd never make it through the Navy, and here I am 10 years retired now, almost 10 years retired now. And I did 20 years in there.
Yeah.
Time is cooking. My 20s were in the 1990s.
Yeah. My zeros. My ones.
Okay, so let's get off this shit show and talk about who our patron. We got a new patron. Yeah, I had heard something like that. Who's our new patron?
Yeah, our new patron has the username of freethinker215. So thanks for joining the
Thanks for
shit
joining.
show.
Thanks for joining Freethinker 215, and you join the groups of illustrious people, all bunches
All
of them.
thousand of them.
Yeah. But of course, you know, we want to thank, of course, Molly and Trevor. So our patrons, our top patrons. So,
And
anyways, thanks,
everybody
Molly,
else.
and everybody else, of course. Uh, so, yeah, thank you for being a patron. So, um, So we've got plans actually for something that's coming up here pretty soon, but I want to try it out myself and see how it goes before we try to inflict it on you fine folks. So maybe interesting, maybe not. I'm not sure, but we'll try it.
It's public masturbation.
In this cold weather, I mean, in Chicago, it's pretty damn cold outside right now. What does it say? It's 30 degrees here in Chicago right now.
I will trade you. It's -3 here right now, and it feels like -20 with, quote, light snow. This is not light snow. It's like coming down.
And that's Fahrenheit, not Celsius, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't understand Celsius because I was raised in America.
America. Miracle. What was that? There's a very famous picture of this guy who's standing outside. He's got a shotgun and like a U.S. flag, and the flag is blowing through his hair. And I shared the picture. Maybe I'll share it to the Facebook group. I think I probably will. This guy looks like somebody who I knew when I was in the Navy. Anyway, and it so looks like him, and he would so say this shit too, kind of. And it's like, I'm so American, I pitched red, white, and blue. My doctor says it may be prostate cancer. I told him to shut his commie mouth.
Oh my God.
And the guy, it looks like my friend. And, because he lives in Texas, and he would be a guy with a shotgun and an American flag going, I'm so American, I pee red, white, and blue. That would so be him.
That's gross.
He's a good dude, though, man. He, like a lot of people I know, he's one of these guys where if he's your friend, he would literally give you the shirt off of his back. So, yeah. Even though we're absolutely, totally opposite politics and religious opinions now, not so much when I knew him, but back in the day.
I want to. That made me think of something I want to talk about a little bit. So the atheist community has, in the past year or so, past 6 months to a year, come to be realized that they're kind of shitty. A lot of them are shitty. Just because you're an atheist, you're not a great person.
Yes.
Which is obvious. Like, obviously, anyone of anything can be a shitty person. But I am kind of frustrated with the amount of shitty in the atheist community.
The dickhead of fuckface for one, and all his ilk from the Milwaukee bullshit a couple years ago.
Yeah, and then just seeing how awful a lot of the atheist community is toward the trans community and the LGBT community in general, but specifically trans people. And I was just upsetting myself last night by reading all these fucking comments, on like Facebook and shit. And you just never read comments on any post, any video, anything about trans people unless you're in a trans only group or something. Just never do it because it's a shit show. It's the worst thing you'll ever read. You're gonna go on there, and this was like trans posts in atheist groups, right? And just people are like, I don't agree with this. I'm not going to respect someone's preferred pronouns. You can't infringe on my free speech of using the pronouns you want, etc., etc. And they're like,
fuck?
Pull it. Like, this was like a common thing. Like, this thing had hundreds of comments, and they're like, you can't fuck with my free speech. I'm going to be a skeptic. I don't think that's real. That's mental illness. We shouldn't cater toward trans people because that's just mental illness, and like, yeah, whatever. And I'm just like, you guys are really shitty, and I've started feeling really bad about myself.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't.
I know.
You shouldn't let other people's shitty fucking attitudes and opinions affect what and who you are. Fuck that.
I know. Like, and I don't usually put myself out into like these kind of situations. Like, I mean, I was just reading it because it was there. It was on a trans post, like about trans people. And then I was like, oh, let's just look at the comments. So don't ever do that. But shit, there was just so much awful stuff. And they're like, trans people have nothing to do with the atheist community. Can we not talk about this? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, trans people are part of the atheist community. So obviously we have something to do with it.
I know. How many do I know personally that are trans or non-binary?
Yeah, and
Five,
specifically in like
five, six
the
that I can think
atheist
of. I'm just saying. I
five.
know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I know 5 or 6 personally that I can think of off the top of my head who are trans or non-binary who are atheists. Those are just the ones I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, and those are like probably podcasters and
Yes.
like even the not I'm sure there's plenty of not podcaster trans people.
Yes.
So trans atheist people. But I don't know. It's just very frustrating to see so much hate coming from a community that I'm in to another community that I'm in, you know? I don't and I can only do so much educating. I can only do so much like
I have like I've got a lot of friends who are, I don't even say a lot because we really don't talk a lot anymore. But I have several friends who, from times in the past when I was in the military, are conservative, right? And
mhm.
this one guy who's usually been really cool about a lot of shit posted a picture. Do you remember that "Excuse me, I'm a ma'am" lady at the
Yeah.
trans lady at the restaurant?
Uh GameStop.
GameStop. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Um, but anyways, so apparently Funko, people who make those kind of weird looking dolls,
Yeah.
had one about her, or maybe it's a Photoshop of it or something.
I would guess
And
it's a meme.
yeah, I would probably say so. But anyways, so this was posted on my Facebook friends timeline, and somebody didn't get it, and somebody explained it to him, and I chimed in saying, "This is bullshit, and this is bullshit for a lot of different stuff. For one, trans people don't have the don't how did I say this? I'm like, trans people don't need to explain anything to anybody about their transness, lifestyle, or anything. It's none of your fucking business." And I'm like, this meme is bullshit, and you people saying fucked up shit on here is bullshit. It'd be like my friend, if his name is Bob, somebody walking up to him and as a joke all the time, just calling him Sally because they want to be shitty to him.
Yeah.
And his name is Bob. Do you know what I'm saying? He's like, I want to be called Bob, call me Bob. And I walk up to him all the time and we're like, hey, Sally, hey, Sally. You know what I'm saying? That's
Mhm.
literally what you're doing. And so one of his friends came on and said, it's like, oh, Matthew's in here starting fire. And then he did the Michael Jackson popcorn thing. It's like, I've said my piece. I don't need to say it anymore. It's
Yeah.
like I'm done. So I didn't comment back at anything, if any. I didn't even notice if anybody said anything back. So it's just like, I've said my fucking piece. And if you're going to be a shitty person, then you're going to be a shitty person. So,
Yeah.
but it's, I I just hope that saying something as hell, I wasn't even trying to be non-confrontational. I was just trying to be matter of fact. This is shitty, and you should feel bad for saying it, for
Yeah.
posting it.
I mean, sometimes just planting a little seed of doubt can be the spark someone needs, but it is frustrating. And I finally watched that video like several weeks after it had started going around the internet because I just really wasn't interested in getting involved in that
It's
because
horrifying.
yeah, well, I mean, as a trans person watching that, what I see is another trans person that is just very upset, is struggling to exist as who they want to be seen as, and they're just like, and one, we don't see the whole situation. We just see when someone starts recording. So I don't know what happened before that. Maybe they said like their pronouns multiple times before that. I'm sure they did, because I've been in that situation and it's just very frustrating. And usually what I do is I just shut up and take it because like, I'm not going to just correct you continuously. I might tell you one or two times, depending on who you are. If you're my friend, I'll tell you more. And like, you're going to stop being my friend if you keep fucking up on purpose. But Like, yeah, I just see someone that's really hurt, and it's very frustrating because I could feel the hurt and the struggle, and people that are not part of this community, like, they, unless they're really great allies or whatever, they probably don't see that. They just see
If
someone that's being ridiculous, and it's very frustrating for me.
if you don't have any kind of empathy and can see that, I mean, if you have a modicum of empathy for trying to feel what the other person's feeling, you know that she feels bad. Do you know what I'm saying? Because she's mad. Do
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And so she's like, "Call me ma'am," and it's just like, wow. And the person kept being shitty, and
Yeah.
it's like, you know what they're pissed off about, and so fuck that guy who was being rude. Fuck that guy who posted that shitty ass meme with the Funko doll. It's all
Yeah.
shitty.
Yeah. Fuck
So,
people that are assholes to trans people.
uh,
Anyway.
and speaking of fucking people being shitty,
Yeah.
can we talk about the politics here in the United States again? I'm not even talking about the guy who's hopefully soon to be indicted, even though he probably won't be. I'm talking about Virginia and the need for people in Virginia and other places to go in blackface and the blackface controversies.
Mm-hmm.
Like that high end sweater company pulling the sweater, that was ridiculous. I
Gucci.
thought that, yeah, Gucci pulling that sweater, I thought that was pretty fucking ridiculous. It's not somebody being blackface. That's somebody putting something on their face to try to keep their face warm, and Gucci's going to charge them $800 for it because, well, they're fucking Gucci.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think that's a certain segment of liberals going a little bit too far with that one. With them pulling that, I think that Gucci wanted to make sure that they were just on the right side and went too far. Anyways, but so the governor and the assistant governor, the legal guy in the state of Virginia, not the vice governor. He's in trouble because he fucking sexually assaulted some people supposedly. But numbers 1 and 3 in the late 1980s put on blackface. Now, I was a teenager in the 80s, and especially in the late 80s, and putting on blackface was something that at least, I mean, even in my areas of Chicago where I'm probably 1 to 3 steps away from people who may be in racist organizations.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in Chicago, they knew not to do blackface. You know what I'm saying? In the 80s. And these guys are in Virginia in the same time putting on blackface. What does that tell you about Virginia and how they're living? Where it's okay in the 80s as a mid 20 something adult to put on blackface. What the fuck is wrong with you? Seriously, what is wrong with you? In the middle to late 80s, putting on blackface. And that's something that should have went out in the 1930s and Birth of a Nation and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's like, well, fuck, what was it? That Marilyn Monroe movie where they had that one guy put on yellowface and play an Asian. I don't remember the movie. Some Like It Hot, I think. Anyways, so somebody put on basically yellowface, a white actor
Mm-hmm.
put on yellowface to act like an Asian. Well, fuck, even David Carradine did it in the '60s with Kung Fu. That was supposed to go to Bruce Lee, but the the people decided that they went with David Carradine instead because they didn't want an Asian. So yeah.
Yeah. That
So I'm
still
just
happens today. Like, they pick white actors over other races.
yeah.
When even like the story calls for different people, like white people playing Asian people, etc. It's very frustrating.
Well, my thing I'm talking about right now is like, what makes these people think it's okay in the '80s to do this, and then even now think it's okay to do this. Where do they get off? I mean, how do they think this is okay in today's society when it wasn't even okay in the 80s to do so?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, like KKK robes and all that kind of stuff. I mean, what the fuck?
I don't get it.
This just says how racist of a society that we have, and it's a struggle that needs to keep going. And this is why Black people kneel for Black Lives Matter, and this whole thing of oh, this bullshit of White Lives Matter too. It's like, if you're bringing up that, you're racist by definition. Do you know what I'm saying? Not the Black Lives Matter guy, but the guys who are like, oh, what about White Lives Matter?
Yeah.
You're a racist. You're a racist. So I don't know. I'm just saying this. I don't know where these people get off. We're thinking this is okay with today's society.
Yeah, I think they are in a group of people that neither you nor I will ever be a part of. And that group
I could
is,
have been a long time ago, but not now.
yeah,
I'm just
I
saying
think,
I could have been a long time ago.
yeah, that group is typically wealthy, white, straight,
I don't
Republican,
know. I'm
Christian.
honestly thinking that those guys are the poor people that the Republicans have fooled into thinking that the big Republicans are looking out for them.
You think
I
so?
I think so. I think that these are these idiots who vote against their own self-interest. The guys who are going down the street with the flag of the Army of Northern Virginia to their car and going Southern Pride. Those guys aren't rich.
No, they aren't, but I've never heard of that. I mean, I don't know. Do they do blackface like those people?
I
Or
think they
like,
used to.
because the only people I really hear about doing blackface are like the rich politician people. But I
Oh,
guess that's
okay.
the only one we care about. Obviously, the Southern Pride people, like, they do a lot of shitty stuff, but I don't know.
I think you're right as far as like what's seen now. The
Yeah.
white people, the rich white people, will do blackface in their little clubs or organization, and you're like, oh, isn't it funny?
Yeah.
Um, there was a movie that came out, man. It was a fucking long time ago. I think one of Matt Damon's very first movies. Is a movie called School Pride or something like that, where this young guy, well, they're all young at the time. It was like a private school in the 1950s where this young Jewish kid was he was from the street, right? And he
Hmm.
was from a rough area like in Pittsburgh or something like that. And he's a really good football player. He gets hired basically a full ride to this very wealthy school like Andover or one of these, like upper end all male prep schools, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And all the kids there are like super religious. He's Jewish, so he takes off his Star of David, puts it in a box, and then he wins the football championship. Matt Damon plays the guy who figures out that this kid is Jewish, and so it starts this racist thing and that kind of stuff. It's actually a really good movie. At least I enjoyed it at the time. I haven't looked at it in a while, but so yeah, it's like they hung a swastika like over his bed, like it was a pillowcase. They hung it over his bed, and they're like, "Do you go home?" And he was
Mm.
like, "Whoever." He wrote this note. Whoever wrote this, meet me outside in 10 minutes. And he's standing outside in the rain, waiting for a coward to come outside because those guys are all fucking cowards. And
Yeah.
he's just like, he yells out in the rain. He's like, "Cowards!"
Oh my God.
And yeah, and so so he stopped hiding being Jewish. And so, and there's all the bullshit. Well, he ended up cheating and that kind of stuff. The racist kid ended up cheating, so we caught him. And anyways, there was this
Hmm.
thing. So, but anyways, it's a pretty good movie. I really think that the only way is like these people get away with stuff like this is if they're in their insular little groups and they're the only ones they know they can get away with this shit. Because like the guy for the governor, so he didn't really say if he was the one in blackface or not, but he admitted to being in blackface a little bit. He said he put some shoe polish underneath his cheeks. Bullshit. So there's somebody standing there in blackface and somebody standing in a full KKK uniform.
Mm-hmm.
In the white hood. And she's like, he never said which one it is. Either way, it's irrelevant because it's fucking racist.
Yeah.
And so then the guy, the attorney general, I think, said that he admitted to going in blackface too. There are some people who are saying that the reason why that the lieutenant governor got brought up for the sexism charges because maybe it would distract from what was going on with the governor and the attorney general. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But it may be convenient, but I'm definitely going to give those people the benefit of the doubt too. Let's go through and find out what's going on. But still, I mean, you know, what the fuck is going on with Virginia and a lot of these other, you know, these places where this is okay? It's not okay. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I just don't get this mindset anymore. I literally don't understand it. I don't get it, Eric.
I don't get it either.
Has anybody got any opinions out there? Our 3 listeners, maybe chime in with an opinion, and you know, maybe if you want to let us know, and we can talk about it. So, but yeah, let us know, please, what you might think what is fucking wrong with these racist assholes. I don't fucking get it. And it's, you know, we talked about it before on our podcast where a certain segment of the people are not only going racist, but they're going fascist too. And so we're seeing a rise in like fascist shit. Like I literally got into a Facebook argument with this where somebody said he would literally want to be a Nazi than he would. I actually had somebody say this to me on a YouTube comment. He would actually be a Nazi before he would be a Democrat.
Wow.
And
What
I
do you think
said,
that's about?
and I looked at him and said, my grandfather fought under Patton in the left hook, and you're a fucking fascist. Fuck you. I'm like, where did your grandparents fight? Of course, he hasn't responded back, nor do I actually respect it and expect a response back. But if you're literally going against everything that the United States stands for when he said that. He literally just said fuck you to the Constitution.
Why? I'm trying to think. Why would someone be so against being a Democrat? And well, why are we so against being Republicans? Like, well, I'm super against being Republican because they're usually just really shitty. They don't care about the people. I agree with a few like conservative ideas. I agree with a few things, but definitely not enough to make me go to that platform. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why would someone like what I notice is people hate Democrats because abortion. We support the legal right to abortion. And that's like a lot of people's only thing they care about, which doesn't make any fucking sense.
Especially if they're a Bible believer, and we're talking about Christians in the United States. Okay. If they're a Bible believer, then their God killed more babies than any amount of abortion in the United States ever will.
Yeah.
So, because they believe that fucking fairy tale of Noah's Ark.
Yeah. And then Democrats support like LGBT rights, typically, equality, typically.
Social safety nets.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
And
like
it's funny.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
I don't know. How would you compare that even to like a Nazi saying being a Nazi would be better than that? I just don't know.
I just don't think they understand what Nazism actually was, and they only see it as, okay, well, you know, they were a strong group, you know. Okay, yeah, they were a strong group, but you're not understanding why they were a strong group. They were a strong group because they literally killed all of their opposition. And there were people in this thread who were advocating just that,
Mm-hmm.
who were literally advocating killing of Democrats, people with left ideas. And if you weren't a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, then you deserve death.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that reason alone is the reason why you're a piece of shit. Is the reason why alone I will fight you to my last breath.
Yeah. I don't like when people say, this is kind of a side point, when people say they don't agree with certain lifestyle choices, referring to being LGBT. Like, being gay or trans is a lifestyle choice and not just something you are. And it's just
It's
very
because they
frustrating.
don't understand it.
Yeah. And I've talked to some of these people because I feel very strongly about the power of education and sharing my story and helping them understand that no, I would not choose this. People don't just choose this for fun. It's very difficult to live as a trans
Yeah.
person. I would not want this, actually. It's much easier to not be trans. So, yeah, so I talk to them and I try to educate them, and then a lot of them still feel the same. Some of them change their mind. Some of them are like, "Oh, wow, I really see how you would not want to do this and how it's very difficult for you, and I will change my way of thinking," which is
It's
very
this
nice. But
it's the same way for being an atheist too. It's like people don't realize how hard it was for me to change my beliefs and my opinions about God. That I could have went my entire life as a happy dappy Christian in the United States and nobody would have cared. Okay? Literally nobody would have cared if I would have went on my life just as, you know, just a stupid uh you know, Sunday Christian only sometimes, you know,
mm-hmm,
Easter and Christmas, nobody would have cared because that's how most people are with their Christianity. You know
mm-hmm,
what I'm saying? But I decided to be, well, I decided to be, I fuck it, that's not the right word. Um, I needed to be intellectually honest with myself and be like, there's no way that any of this makes any kind of fucking sense. So why keep following it at all? It doesn't make any sense. Why?
mm-hmm.
Does that make any sense? Do you see where I'm going? I mean, and
Yeah.
so that's the reason why and I hate to use the word decided because I didn't decide to be uh, a non-Christian. It literally stopped making sense to me. It's like hitting yourself in the head with a hammer feels great when you stop. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, why go through the deprivation for nothing? You know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, because I did the fasting sometimes, you know, like where I would eat for like a day or something like that, and then at nighttime I would finally at dinner time eat, you know, or you know, waited until I was 19 to have sex because I thought God wanted me to not have sex until I was married, and it's like, you know, all this bullshit. It's like, why do people deprive themselves of stuff because God commanded it to, and it doesn't make any fucking sense to do it? I mean, I understand moderation and things. Yes, I get it. But if you're hurting yourself and just to hurt yourself, and what was it? I was in my religion class when I was still in college, and I decided not to interrupt it, all the stuff that I thought was stupid and irrelevant. But we were talking with one of the Eastern religion. I don't remember what it was, but this guy, it was in India that this was more common. India and Sri Lanka and that kind of area. But vegetarians. Some of them didn't own any clothes, and so these guys would walk around and like people would brush the ground in front of them in case they would step on an ant and that kind of stuff. I'm sure, like, so I raised my hand for that one. I'm like, look, I understand kind of where he's going at, but I feel like he's violating his own religion because in following it so ascetically, he's hurting one thing. And the teacher's like, what was that? I'm like, himself.
Mm-hmm.
He is hurting himself by lack of medical care, not knowing, being food insecure, medically insecure. He doesn't know where his next meal is coming from. Being food insecure is a big deal. Do you know what I'm saying? And so it's like he is all this stuff harming himself. He's violating his own religion by harming himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's an apostate. And the teacher's like, well, you know, she said something. And I saw a couple of the other people in class go, do that. Huh. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, this is where I think all of this ties together, because with all this otherism and all that kind of stuff with religion and politics and that kind of stuff here in the United States has got a definite God angle to it. And these people who fucking do this blackface and hate on trans and atheists and everything else do it because that's what they think God wants them to do. And so it's like I said to one of the guys in the, I'm assuming it's a guy because usually a lot of these shitty assholes are guys. I'm like, so one of the things that you're wanting to do is that you're wanting, assuming that you're an Anglo, that you're a WASP cis Christian. I'm like, for one, you're violating the Constitution because of freedom of and from religion. And so politics and that kind of stuff is like, I'm free as freedom of speech to say, whatever, almost whatever political stuff I want to. And as freedom of religion to not have the same religion you are, you're literally forcing your religion upon me. And your religion says to love others as yourself. So not only are you breaking man's law, you're breaking God's law too. And so I'm like, but of course your cognitive dissonance will never let you see that.
Right.
I hope that just didn't ramble for nothing. I hope I made some kind of sense there.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, you just made the point that you think a lot of it's rooted in God, and I think a lot of it is, and in religion. And I wonder how much of that carries over to the atheists that are still othering people, like trans people.
Yeah. They've still got some of their old bigotries and that kind of stuff that are still stuck in the othering from religion.
Mm-hmm.
Was it the only thing that we all believe in as atheists is a lack of a belief in God? Doesn't necessarily make them good people. They're not humanists. They're not for social justice. They're not for making humans comfortable and self-actualized by any means. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, so you got dickhead of fuckface, because I refuse to say his name and anything other than that. He's a fucking racist, sexist asshole. And so him and his followers, the guys who follow, what the fuck is his name? The attack helicopter guy. Fucking, anyways. So these people, I just think, are just shitty fucking people who don't understand what it means to empathize with other people. I just think they're just shitty fucking people.
Yeah.
Does that make sense, or did I ramble? I don't know.
No, I think it makes sense. I don't know. Moral of the story: just don't be a shitty fucking person.
You think?
You'd think it'd be easy, wouldn't you? Like, but it's not for some reason.
How hard is it to just not be a douche if you can help it?
It's this thing where, specifically, I think with the majority of the population, which is the white heterosexual Christian male, They're just, they think that their story is the only one that matters. They think that if they're not suffering, other people aren't suffering. They can't sympathize. Not all of them, obviously, but the majority of them, they can't sympathize. They don't care what other people are going through. They think everybody else should be going through the exact same thing as them. And, like, for instance, when we talk about helping people that are disabled or that are homeless or whatever, they're like, well, they're just lazy and they should get a job. And then I say, half of homeless people have a job. And they're like, well, I don't understand why they're still homeless. Well, maybe because we don't have affordable housing, or because we don't have mental health or physical health to help them out. Like, we don't have accessible doctors. We don't have insurance for them, etc. And they're like, well, they should just figure it out. And I'm like, you can't say that because you aren't in their shoes. You haven't gone through the same things as them. Like, you don't face these struggles. You don't face discrimination on any level. So it's just very frustrating. They're never going to understand unless they decide to open their eyes, or they have a loved one that's close to them that goes through something similar and then they decide to open their eyes.
Yeah.
It's just very frustrating because we can't make people see what other people are going through, and we can't make other people empathetic if they're not. And
so I think some people are just shitty fucking people no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter how good they have had their life, they are just shitty fucking people no matter what. There's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah. And some of those people are running the world, so it sucks.
Oh, fuck. What are we going to do, Eric?
Get out and vote.
You know, I understand that, but it's like, at the same time, it's like, for those of us who lean liberal, I'm not necessarily a Democrat. I actually see myself as more of a progressive. And, you know, it's like, I'm just saying, it's like, I really don't see that the problem is for the people who voted at all. I see it's for the people who didn't vote. And so, like, who was it? Was it AOC, Alexandria, or something Cortez? I'm forgetting her name right now, which is horrible. Ocasio-Cortez, who wanted to make voting a national holiday for people to vote.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, certain people are like, how dare you? Really? What was it? Mitch McConnell said that was an attack upon democracy. Really? An attack upon democracy is voting.
That makes no sense. How about we just get rid of, let's scrap Christopher Columbus Day. Fuck that. And then make voting a national holiday.
I'm good with that.
We did it.
With that. Yay, because Christopher Columbus killed 1 million people. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah. So fuck Christopher Columbus. So fuck that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck the memory of him. So, and all the fucking racist people who thought that the United States was just open and they could just, well, what we now have now is the United States was just open. They can come take us, and the indigenous people didn't fucking matter because they were racist because God said that. They thought God said that everything was theirs for the taking. Literally. That's how, in a nutshell, very thin, in a quick nutshell, that we ended up having slavery in the U.S. because they said that, oh, they're not white people, so we can enslave them.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I just want to say, sorry.
I'm just saying it's basically, in a very fast nutshell, what happened. I don't want to, because I'm generalizing here. I'm just saying that. But yeah, they took these people as slaves from Africa, put them, and there are people out there who think somebody used the argument of the South being about states' rights in this thing that I was in. Yeah, it was about states' rights, but it was about states' rights and keeping people in slavery for perpetuity. I'm like, they said it in the Southern People's Constitution. It's said in the Constitution. Yes, it's slave rights, but it's slave rights, states' rights as keeping people in slavery. So don't use this bullshit of it's about heritage, not hate. Your heritage is hate.
Yeah.
Literally, your
There
heritage
you
is
go.
hate. Don't give me that bullshit.
Yeah. And then they are like, well, my ancestors or like my great great grandfather fought in the war too. And I'm like, yeah, on the wrong side. Why are you celebrating that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
There was a big deal. The VFW started after World War One, and they let the Civil War veterans in as basically as a compromise. Basically as a compromise. They're like, they turned a blind eye to the real reasons behind it because they wanted membership. And so, yeah, so that happened. And so I know people who are racist and all that kind of stuff too. And it's just like, they don't fucking get it. On many levels, these people just don't fucking get it.
Yeah, it's rough.
So, but yeah, these people that I was having this argument with on Facebook were basically like, oh, YouTube actually, were like, yeah, that the military will turn and kill all the Democrats. I'm like, wow, you're basically saying that you want to kill Americans because we have a different political philosophy than you, a different religious philosophy than you. I'm just saying. I mean, these people are fucking frightening.
Yeah. I think anyone that wants to kill any innocent person is pretty terrifying.
They are. They're pretty terrifying. There's a difference between killing somebody in self-defense and murdering somebody because they have a different opinion. So an entirely different animal. Entirely different animal.
Like, I don't want to kill people I disagree with, even if they're really shitty.
Yeah, you think? I don't either. These people are really scary.
Actually, that brings up a conversation I had yesterday. Just brief conversation, but I don't know what we were talking about, but somehow we got to where, like, if we could kill Donald Trump, would we? And I was like, I wouldn't kill Donald Trump. He has the right to live. I would take him out of office and take away like all his money or whatever. Like the things that keep him in power, I would take away if I could do anything, but I wouldn't kill him.
I don't want him executed if there was, reason to do so without proper legal ways to do it. Do you know what I'm saying? Because the death penalty is legal in the United States, officially. But anyway, but it's like, without proper legal means, I wouldn't want it done. I wouldn't want an armed coup to yank him out and shoot him on the lawn just because. No.
Yeah.
I want him removed. I want him impeached and removed from office. Absolutely, I do. But I want it done legally.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, and it's like, these fucking psychos are saying that if Donald Trump is impeached, that there's going to be a second American Revolution. Really? How? Why? This was literally said. People are literally saying this shit.
People are
crazy. It's fucking propaganda. It's craziness. I don't know how they're getting this fucking crazy. You only get this crazy through religion. You really do. Through otherizing people.
Well,
I'm just saying that's just my opinion of it.
Hopefully we only have 2 more years, 1.5 years, whatever it is.
I'm just saying it's like, because Mueller, for his investigation, it goes for 18 months and he filed an extension for only another 6 months. we're going to be wrapping up here real soon. And so, like Maxine Waters and several other people are like, yeah, game is on. Donald Trump knows time is short. He really does.
Mm-hmm.
And so he knows he's in big trouble. I think he knows. I think it's a lie that the guy who was the acting AG didn't fucking tell Trump all what he knew about the investigation. I think he's fucking lying to our faces, to Congress, to the American people. I think he's lying. I think he told Donald Trump everything. I bet $1 on it. I would bet $1 on it. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know, I just think that this guy's fucking lying. And so I think he told Donald Trump everything. And I think that, I mean, this is just my own opinion, but I think Donald Trump knows that. I think Junior is next because of the adoption meeting with the fucking Russian agents in Trump Tower right before the inauguration.
Mm-hmm.
And Trump knew about it because he's the one who came up with that bullshit fucking thing where it was about adoptions. He's the one who fucking wrote it.
Mm.
And so Donald Trump knows the writing's on the fucking wall. It's just that he's betting that he can't be impeached because he's the president. Well, he's the president because he basically stole the goddamn election because he had a catch and kill story about him paying off porn stars, and you can't do that without saying, yeah, we did it. So, which would have impacted his thing. It's a catch-22. He's fucked.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Did you see my logic train?
Yeah, I think so.
So he basically used, even though it came out of his own thing, even if the money came out of his own pocket, which it didn't, he used it to influence the campaign, which makes it campaign related. He lied to the American government. He used campaign funds to influence the election. Hence, that was illegal. Hence, he won the election illegally. Hence, he shouldn't be the president. Hillary Clinton should be the president. Even though how much I totally dislike Hillary Clinton because of her politics.
Yeah.
So, I think she's a corporate dem. I don't think she gives a shit about the common people.
Yeah. I just know she probably wouldn't have tried to enforce a trans military ban and bring out the most racist side of people.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, they would have fought her anyways, the same way they fought Obama for the entire 8 years.
Yeah.
So,
probably worse though because she's a woman.
Yeah, because she's a woman.
Is it worse to be a woman or is it worse to be black? Who knows?
In their minds, it doesn't matter. I don't think. Liberal. I don't even think she's a liberal. She's a liberal by today's standards. I think that because of who she is, she's a Clinton, and Clinton himself was fairly liberal, but he was basically a Southern Democrat, which he signed some shit that, like the 3 strikes rule and all that kind of stuff, which put a lot of people in prison for the rest of their lives, and most of those people were black. So, Bill Clinton had a lot of stuff that he could answer for as far as like history-wise, as far as some of the shit that he did. Is it still coming down really bad? Because you keep looking off into...
Yeah, so can we switch to something slightly happier, I guess?
Sure.
Cool. Well, I'm just going to talk about, I guess, a couple of New Year's resolutions that I'm making happen. One being, I did a painting. One of my New Year's resolutions was to do more art, which I needed to keep doing. But I did a self-portrait painting in acrylic, and it's like a nude self-portrait, except my face is covered by the trans flag, which is super cool. Very artsy. I was so proud of myself. Yeah, it's nude. It's on Facebook if anyone's interested and you're my friend. It's not like public, but yeah, like 300 people can see it. I did block it from most of my coworkers, not all of them, because I know someone would be fine seeing it, and my parents. Anyway, and other family members that don't. But like, I mean, it's a painting. It's art. Fuck off. I'm not ashamed of my body, and I think trans people need visibility. And it was for an art show. It's an erotic art show, so like it had to be like a nude type painting. and that's why I painted it. And it turned out really, really good. I'm so proud of it. And I submitted it to the art show, and it got accepted. So
You're kidding. That's awesome.
I know, it's super exciting. I mean, it's like at a coffee shop downtown, like a like a hip little coffee shop. But they asked me like to give them the stuff to put on my label. I got my art website back up and running, so I'm super excited about that. If you want to go see it, it's ericsawesomeart.com. Woo, okay.
Woot.
Eric with a K. But yeah. If you don't know that, why the fuck are you listening? Anyway, sorry. But I'm really proud of that. And then they needed a price to put on it because I can sell it. And I'm like, okay. And I had no idea because when I do sell art, I'm usually just selling it to friends or people I care about. So I make it really cheap, which undervalues my art, which is frustrating. But like, I care about them. I'm like, yeah, you can have this for $20 or whatever. And so I was like, I have no idea what to genuinely put on a piece of art that you're hanging up. So I asked one of my friends that's like a professional artist, and he's like, well, what's the size and what's the medium? And I'm like, it's acrylic, 18 inches by 24 inches. And he's like, I'd say $300 to $500. And I was like, holy shit, that's a lot of money.
I was thinking 200 minimum.
Yeah, well, in my head, my cheap ass head, I was like 100, 150, but I told them 250. So I went in between what I was thinking and what the professional artist was thinking. So
there's an Eric original right there hanging on my wall.
I like giving away paintings to people I care about. So yeah. But yeah, so my painting, it's on my wall right now. I'm super stoked about it. But it's really good. I like it. And I'm gonna be hanging it up. Anyway, I'm supposed to go take it to the place today. And I'm just watching all this snow come down. So I'm gonna have to like get an Uber or a Lyft or something, maybe. And then I can maybe walk back. It's only like it's less than a mile away, but I'm not gonna walk with my painting in the snow because I don't want it to get wet.
No, you don't want it to get damaged.
So I could probably walk back.
Well, you said it can't be too cold to snow, so it can't be that bad as far as cold outside. I mean,
wow. It feels like -23 with the wind chill.
Okay, so it is pretty bad for,
but I could probably walk half a mile. It's fine. But
Uber, especially with the painting.
Well, I'm gonna Uber there. Yeah, it's just I don't know if I want to Uber back because I'm cheap as fuck.
Drink some coffee and
yeah. But yeah, it's super exciting. I'm really stoked about that. I'll let you guys know if it sells. If it does sell, it's really weird because someone's gonna have like a naked portrait of me hanging up, minus my face. But
still, that's super cool. Did you do like your tattoos too?
Yeah, I painted on my penis tattoo on my leg and my paw print on my chest, my bear on my arm, my lady on my arm, and just like a little bit of this one. But yeah, I mean, weirdly enough, so the pose I was in was like this. So like you can't see a lot of my tattoos. Like you can see the bear and the lady.
Yeah.
But like most of them you can't see, and then my hands are covered by the flag, so you couldn't see my hand tattoos. So thankfully I didn't have to paint all my tattoos. That would be a lot.
It would be a lot.
Oh my god. But yeah, I painted the bear and the lady. And the penis tattoo, which is super awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you want to play the game?
Oh yeah. Oh, I want to talk about one other resolution. I went to the gym for the first time ever yesterday, like for the first real time ever. And I worked out for 2 hours. And I went with my friend who's like worked out before and was teaching me stuff. So that's good because I was really intimidated by the gym because I don't know anything other than like cardio machines. I understand, but everything else, like I don't fucking know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did cardio for 30 minutes and then we did like, I don't know what they're called. We did the bench press like a lot. And then we did the sitting up bench press thingy, and we did reps of 30, 12, 10, 8, and 6, and I kept going up in weight as much as I could. And yeah, so we did that, and then we did dumbbells stuff, and it's great, and I'm really sore.
That's good because you're going for definition. So if you're going for tone, you want low weight, lot of reps, and then if you want to build up strength while you're doing it, you decrease the reps and increase the weight. So your friend was teaching you, sounds like some pretty good stuff. Sweet. But yeah, you can break it up to like upper body, legs, core, back, arms. You could do like 6 or 7 different routines. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, like your core and then your back, you could do in one day. It's like, but don't skip leg day, don't skip arm days. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
because all that stuff is important. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I think that's how we're gonna do it. We're just starting slower because she hasn't gone to the gym in like a year, and I've never really gone to the gym. And so, yeah, we're gonna start with a goal of going at least twice a week and try to aim for 3. And then next month we're gonna try to go definitely 3 times a week and aim for 4. That's what we're gonna try. So hopefully it works.
that's very awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've said this thing where if you ever find my body on a jogging trail, I was murdered.
And I support people not wanting to work out or anything because that's my life, most of my life. But
Yeah.
I need to lose some weight. I need to get some definition because when I have my chest surgery, if I don't have any muscle there, it's not going to look right. So I need to have some chest muscle happening. Okay.
Yeah. And so, yeah, me and my moobs support you.
Thanks. My moves need to go.
Okay, let me go get this. Let me go get the Trump game. That's literally right over here. Hang on a second.
Okay.
So, babble about something.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to our show. If you're still listening, thanks for supporting us on Patreon. And I'm gonna change some of the patron rewards in the next couple of weeks because I want to add sending out a card, like a thank you card, if you are a patron for like 3 months or something. So I think that's something I'm gonna add to the Patreon. So look out for that. And if you're not a patron, just join at the $1 level and then I'll send you a card after $3. Thanks.
I got something in my eye. Hang on a second. I'm sorry.
Don't worry. Happens to me every night. Just, no one wants to have sex with me. Anyway.
What is it? Somebody said something about date people if you're in your 40s, date people in their 40s because the drama's a lot less. Like, and then somebody said something effective, yeah, but then like they're crazy. And I'm like, the problem isn't that they're crazy. The problem is that everybody's crazy and you need to find somebody that matches your own.
Yeah.
So don't
point.
give me this bullshit like, only dating people in their 40s is good because you can't have kids and it's like and they're crazy and it's like no, everybody's fucking nuts all the time. It's just that people stop giving a shit in their 40s. They really do. They really stop caring as far as like what people think. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Generally speaking, it's like, hey, if you're gonna deal with me, this is what it is. So and it's funny because like when you're in your 20s and you say shit like that, you're considered an asshole. When you're 40s, it's just like, yeah, no big deal.
Isn't it weird? Society? Fucking
weird. Pretty much. It's like getting older. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, when you get older than that, you're just like, I don't give a shit about anything. There comes to a point, yeah, it's like, like when you're in your 70s and your 80s, it's like, nothing happens to you is really going to affect you pretty much anyways any further. It is what it is. So I'm just saying, you just stop caring more and more. You care less and less as you get older. So anyways, so speaking of caring less and less, we're playing No Trumps the game. So I'm going to read 2 quotes for those who've never heard this before.
Oh my God.
So I'm going to read 2 quotes in my best Trump voice, and Eric is going to try to figure out which one is Trump and which one isn't. This ought to be fun. Okay, quote 1. Okay, let me get settled here. Okay.
It takes a lot to prepare for this voice.
It does. I finished my beer earlier. I think it would have been good to have a beer, but I finished it. Okay. Quote number 1. One of the key problems today is that politics is such a disgrace. Good people don't go into government.
Okay.
Number 2. You don't know how to lie. If you can't lie, you'll never go anywhere.
Trump, number 2.
Richard Nixon.
Oh, good people don't go into government's number. Like, that doesn't sound like a Trump quote.
Trump. One of the key problems today is that politics is such a disgrace. Good people don't go into government. Trump.
Gross. I guess he thinks he's good people. Anyway. Yeah, Trump's our new Nixon.
He really is. It's just he's Nixon to the end.
Yeah.
Quote number 1. Quote number
I got
second
you.
card. Quote number 1. I have good friends that are gay, and we study the Bible together.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2. I have so many fabulous friends who happen to be gay, but I'm a traditionalist.
I don't think Trump studies the Bible, so I'm going to go with 2.
Number 2 was Trump. Number 1 was Prince.
What?
Prince.
All right, I know who Prince is. That's all right. All right.
Number 1. I will be the greatest jobs President God has ever created. That was number 1. Number 2. To be a leader means to be able to move the masses.
Can you just say number 1 again? I'm pretty sure it's Trump, but I didn't hear it all.
I will be the greatest jobs President God ever created.
Yeah, I'll go with that one.
That was Trump. Number 2, to be a leader means to be able to move masses. Hitler.
Okay. Okay.
He sounds so fucking fascist, it's not even funny. Okay.
That's fun.
Talking about Trump sounds so fucking fascist. We know Hitler was a fascist. Trump is a fascist. And so are a lot of the people who are supporting him. Congratulations, Americans. If you're supporting Trump, you're a fucking fascist. Probably. So anyways.
Very ignorant.
We are. It's super ignorant. Well, Republicans are ignorant. Many Democrats are too. People are ignorant.
People are ignorant. They are willfully ignorant.
Willfully ignorant, because we literally have all of knowledge here and on the thing that we're talking on. And people, ignorance is a choice. So, anyways.
Thanks for listening to the show and choosing to be not willfully ignorant, at least
a little
about
bit.
some stuff.
So, I hope that we didn't depress the shit out of you today. We're going to have some fun stuff next week. We promise.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun guests next week. And then the week after that, we're going to do something really fun together. Not in a creepy way. I don't know.
Woot. It's always creepy, Eric. Let's be honest. It's always creepy.
Look, no homo, bro.
But you are a homo.
I mean, yeah. Typically for people my age. And not straight people.
That's a good point.
But I've made some mistakes.
So, I'm going to go get my D&D on. My Dungeons and Dragons. So, I actually played a wizard the other week. I played a sorcerer.
Yeah.
And so we had to go. I don't know if I mentioned this last week or not. But anyway, so there was this. We had to get this tablet from this guy. And I charmed a monster to get him to get me this. To get him to give me this thing. It was literally turn this tablet into a guitar. And so. And so I literally was like. I went invisible, flew, appeared, charmed monster, and said, "Dude, I am such a great friend and fan of your band that I want to see your guitar. Like, I want to play it." And so he gave me the guitar. I threw it to my cohort, and we buzzed off. And like,
oh my god!
So and the DM, of course, is expecting a fight, and we did not. And so I got extra points for role playing. And for getting us out of something that he expected to be a fight in the middle of like all these fucking like trolls and ogres and all that kind of stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
they're like, "You're gonna give me your stuff. You're a weak mind." And I went, "Chuck, fly. I'm out."
Those are like my favorite scenarios, to be honest. I love them.
I love it when my players do shit that I totally don't fucking expect, and it totally fucks up my plans. It's like, God damn it, that was supposed to be a fight. Good job, asshole. Fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, so I'm gonna go play another. I don't know whose game we're playing today because like we have different games every week. So
Yeah. I need to join a D&D game or make a D&D game. I just I know I probably won't put much effort into like actually making one and DMing it, so I probably should just join one.
yeah, if you know that you're not going to be into it, it's best to just do that. You know.
Like I can be into it sometimes. It's just I need to have like a really good group of people and just make myself do it. Which
Yeah.
I'm struggling with making myself do stuff. The gym's a good start. Let's start with that.
The gym is a good start. Okay, let's start with that. So
Yeah.
this has been episode 51 of the Odd Atheist Friends. I'm Matthew, and over there in the fucking cold tundra is Eric, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.